Welcome friends. Let us continue to study about the pumps on my YouTube channel. Kindly like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. In today's lecture, we are going to study about the construction and working of dynamic pressure pump, and particularly we are going to study about the centrifugal pump. Dynamic pressure pump, they are always rotary pumps. Now let us see. These pumps are also called as rotodynamic pumps. Liquids are handled by rotating impeller with stationary casing. It means here liquid will be handled, or the liquid will be lifted, or it will be transferred from one place to another place by rotating impeller, and it will be rotating inside a stationary casing. Centrifugal pump. The pump which employs the centrifugal force to transfer the liquid or lift the liquid from one place to another place are called the centrifugal pump. So ultimately in the centrifugal pump, the centrifugal force is utilized to transfer the liquid or to lift the liquid. So you can see the merry-go-round, or you can say the circus, in which if the person is rotating with a very high speed, they will try to move away from the center. So that is nothing but the centrifugal force. Right. So here also the liquid enters the centrifugal pump and it passes through the rotating impeller. Now as the impeller rotates, water also rotates with the impeller, and due to that the centrifugal force is generated into the liquid. And due to that, liquid moves away from the center, and so it is lifted to the high level. So that is nothing but the pump in which centrifugal force is utilized to transfer the liquid or to lift the liquid. That is known as the centrifugal pump. So this is another, you can say, animation using the same thing. So the liquid enters and it comes into contact with the rotating impeller. Now as the liquid rotates along with the impeller, the centrifugal force is generated into the liquid, and due to that liquid moves away from the center. So that is the center, and the liquid moves away from the center. So that is nothing but the centrifugal force. This is another animation of the centrifugal pump. You can see here how the water is lifted. So here water enters from the bottom. It passes through the rotating impeller. In the rotating impeller, the centrifugal force is generated, and due to that it moves into the discharge pipe and the overhead tank. So there is another animation for the centrifugal pump. These are the different parts of the centrifugal pump. This is the, you can say, outer body, black color body. That is nothing but the casing, pump casing, in which the impeller is provided, and that center part is known as the eye of the impeller. Now with the casing, on the left hand side you can see suction pipe is connected, and with the suction pipe, or you can say at the bottom of the suction pipe, the suction strainer is connected. The function of the suction strainer is to remove the impurities entering into the suction pipe, or particularly physical impurities. This is known as a suction valve. It is nothing but the non-return valve. It will allow the water to be lifted, or you can say pass from bottom to top, not from top to bottom. With the casing on the right hand side, you can see the discharge pipe is connected, and with the discharge pipe, discharge valve is there. So that is nothing but the construction of the centrifugal pump. So this is the figure available in the different books. Now different parts of the centrifugal pump. Casing. It is an airtight passage around the impeller. So casing is nothing but the airtight. The area of casing is continuously increasing from inlet to outlet. So you can see here the area between the casing and the impeller is continuously increasing. Here it is very less area, and then it is continuously increasing area. It is designated in such a way that, or designed in such a way that when water passes through it, so when water passes through the continuously increasing in area, kinetic energy, that is the velocity of water, is converted into the pressure energy. So the function of the casing is to transfer or convert the kinetic energy of water into the pressure energy of water. Casing. So there are three types of casings are there. Volute casing with vortex chamber, and diffuser pump. Impeller. It is made up of series of vanes. So this is the impeller and it is made up of series of vanes. It is mounted on a shaft which is connected to the electric motor. So this impeller is mounted on a particular shaft and this shaft is connected to electric motor. So as the electric motor rotates, the impeller also rotates. Now when water comes into contact with the impeller, its kinetic energy increases, and then that water with the high kinetic energy enters into the casing, which also you can see in the animation. There are three types of impeller. Open impeller, it is mainly utilized for the totally impure liquid. Semi-closed impeller, it is utilized for the partially impure liquid. And closed impeller, it is mainly utilized for the pure liquid. Suction pipe. It connects the sump with the inlet of the pump. Footwall is provided at the end of the suction pipe. It is a non-return valve. It does not allow the water to drain out from the suction pipe to the sump. Strainer is also provided at the bottom of the suction pipe. Before the footwall, the water from the sump first passes through the strainer. It does not allow any impurities to enter into the suction pipe. Discharge pipe. It connects the outlet of the pump with the overhead tank. Priming cup. Priming cup is provided on the top of the casing for priming. So whenever we are going to study priming, then we will study about the priming cup. Working. Now how the centrifugal pump works. Initially priming cup is opened. So we will open the priming cup and water is filled up inside the suction pipe, impeller and casing. So at the time of starting the pump, we have to open the priming cup and we have to fill the gap, that is the impeller, casing and the suction pipe with the water. Then electric motor is switched on. As the electric motor rotates, impeller of the pump also rotates. So water in the contact with the impeller also rotates with the impeller, and with the high kinetic energy, it leaves the impeller and enters the casing. As the water leaves the impeller at high velocity, vacuum is created in the impeller and then water is lifted from the sump. Water at high velocity enters the casing, in which the kinetic energy of water is converted into pressure energy and then it enters into the discharge pipe. Through the discharge pipe, water is lifted to the overhead tank. So that is the working, how the centrifugal pump works. So there are the three types of impeller as we have studied. This is known as the open impeller, which is open from both the sides. Semi-closed impeller, it means it has one side closed and enclosed impeller. So the impeller are closed from both the sides. So you can see here the pump with the, you can say, open impeller. Centrifugal pump or types of the centrifugal pump based on the casing. So there are three types of casing: volute casing with vortex chamber and diffuser pump. So you can see here the impeller is there and outside the impeller direct casing is there. And as we know that the casing, in the casing, the space or the area is continuously increasing from the inlet to the outlet. And this kind of casing is known as the volute casing. Now volute casing with vortex chamber, in which outside the casing some imaginary circular gap is provided. And that imaginary circular gap is known as the vortex chamber. and outside the vortex chamber there is a casing. In the casing, the area continuously increasing from the inlet to the outlet. So that is nothing but you can say volute casing with vortex chamber in which impeller is same as the volute casing, but outside the impeller some gap or the circular gap is provided, which is known as the vortex chamber. And third one is the diffuser pump. So in the diffuser pump you can see the guide vanes are located outside the impeller. So this is the impeller. Outside the impeller guide vanes are located, and after the guide vanes the volute casing is there. So these are the three types of pumps based on the casing. Volute casing, the efficiency or the water lifting capacity of the volute casing is less, and it is highest in case of the diffuser pump. Now why? Because when the water or the liquid comes out from the impeller, it is very high velocity. And if it is very high velocity and it is coming out, then there is no space at the impeller, because initially the space is less, and so it is a disorderness. And due to that, due to the disorderness of the liquid, less amount of the water is lifted, or you can say energy or the kinetic energy of water is consumed in overcoming the disorderness. While when in a volute casing with the vortex chamber, when water comes out from the impeller with high velocity, it has a gap, circular gap. So it moves out easily, and then it enters into the volute casing, in which kinetic energy is converted into the potential energy. So in this case, high amount of water is lifted, or the efficiency of this pump is more than the volute casing. Now come back to the next, diffuser pump. In the diffuser pump, proper guide vanes are located. It means water with high kinetic energy, when comes out from the impeller, it is properly guided. Okay, that the water should pass from this place. So due to that, the disorderness in the diffuser pump is the least, or you can say minimum, or the near to the zero. And due to that, the efficiency of this kind of pump, that is the diffuser pump, is the highest, and a high amount of liquid is lifted when we use the diffuser pump. This is another figure for the volute casing with vortex chamber, and the diffuser pump. Now let us study the different types of centrifugal pump on the basis of casing in detail. First one is the volute casing. The impeller is located in the casing, but the impeller and casing are not the concentric. It means the center of impeller and the center of casing are not same. They are not connected at the same center, and due to that, the gap between the impeller and casing is not uniform, and due to that, the gap between the impeller and casing is not uniform, and we can say that it continuously increases from inlet to outlet. The impeller is located in such a way that the gap between the impeller and casing continuously increasing from inlet of water to outlet of water, or that is known as the converging type. This type of casing is known as the volute casing. And in the volute casing, kinetic energy of water is converted into the pressure energy. Next is the volute casing with vortex chamber. An imaginary circular gap is maintained between impeller and volute casing. So you can see here there is the impeller, this one is the volute casing, and in between imaginary circular gap is maintained or generated, and that is known as the, you can say, vortex chamber. This kind of casing is known as the volute casing with vortex chamber, or in some of the book it is written as whirlpool chamber. The function of the imaginary circular gap, that is the vortex chamber or a whirlpool chamber, is to convert the kinetic energy of water into pressure energy and provide the smooth passage of the water. Thus, a pump with the volute casing gives less discharge compared to the pump with the volute casing with the vortex chamber. So this volute casing with vortex chamber gives more discharge compared to the previous one. And third one is the diffuser pump, or also it is known as the turbine pump. When the guide vanes are provided in the whirlpool chamber, or there is a vortex chamber, or there is the imaginary circular gap. So if in the imaginary circular gap guide vanes are located, the pump is called a diffuser type pump or a turbine type pump. So here you can see the guide vanes are provided. The fixed guide vanes are provided around the impeller periphery. The ring of guide vanes is known as the diffuser. So this is known as the diffuser. The water leaving the impeller flows through the fixed guide vane. So whatever the water at high velocity comes out from the impeller, now it enters into the guide vanes. As the passage along the guide vane is continuously increasing, so the passage of the guide vane is also continuously increasing type, and due to that, the kinetic energy of water is converted into the pressure energy, and velocity of water decreases and the pressure of water increases. This type of pump gives the more pressure compared to the vortex type and the volute type pumps. And this type of pump has the more efficiency or the highest efficiency compared to other two pumps. So now let us study the pressure and velocity variation in the centrifugal pump. So you can see here, when the water or a liquid enters into the inlet casing, its pressure decreases and its velocity increases. Now the liquid enters to the impeller, and as the impeller rotates, the liquid along with that impeller also rotates, and in that impeller, pressure of the liquid increases as well as the velocity, that is the kinetic energy of liquid also increases. Then after impeller enters into the diffuser, that is the guide vanes. So in the guide vane, velocity, that is the kinetic energy of liquid, decreases and the pressure increases, and the last, the liquid enters into the volute casing. So in the volute casing also, the kinetic energy reduces and the pressure increases. So with the high pressure, now the liquid is lifted to the overhead tank. Advantage and disadvantage of the centrifugal pump. Advantages: small in size, less capital cost, easy for maintenance. It is mainly utilized to discharge a large quantity of liquid. The centrifugal pump is able to work with the medium and low head, and it is able to work with the low and medium viscous fluid. Disadvantage: priming is required, not used for the very high head. So if you want to generate the very high head, the centrifugal pump is not utilized, and it cannot deal with the high viscous fluid. So if we have the high viscosity fluid, then centrifugal pump cannot be utilized. Application: centrifugal pump is utilized mainly in the agricultural and irrigation purpose, household application, hydraulic control system, firefighting systems, and different industrial applications. Kindly ask your queries in the comment box of the video. Kindly like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.